Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Grandma. Today I'm going to be making hamburger casserole. It's called beef casserole, but you know, it's hamburger. So it calls for 1 pound of ground beef and 2 medium onions. I have 2 pounds or almost 2 pounds of ground beef because I'm making a double recipe, and I chopped up my onion ahead of time. Using your red onion because that's what I happen to have on hand. It doesn't matter, use red or white. Red is supposed to be sweeter, but it's going to be cooked, so it doesn't really matter. So you want to get that going. Get that, you just brown this. It only takes a couple of minutes. Just stir it and put it around. And while that's browning, I'm going to slice my potatoes. Let me switch this around for a minute. There we go. I'm going to slice my potatoes. Now you can peel them or unpeel them. I chose to peel them this time. You can use a mandolin if you want, and then you get even slices, but you know, if you can eyeball it. But you do want them all to be pretty much the same thickness, because that way they'll cook, because this goes on the bottom of your casserole dish, and then the meat goes over it, and then soup goes over top of that. So you do want them to be fairly all the same size, and it'll cook a lot quicker. Otherwise, when you take it out, you'll have some potatoes that are mush and some potatoes that are sliced just right. So I'm going to slice up all my potatoes now. It's real easy. I mean, nothing rocket science about it. You peel the potato or not. You can leave it with the peel on if you rather. It makes no difference in this recipe. It says right in the recipe that it's all good. And then you put, in a casserole dish, you do the layers. You put the potatoes, and then the meat and the onions, and then the soup goes over top. So I'm going to go ahead and put my potatoes in there. This way you slice a couple of them at a time, then you kind of get to know how many you need. I did peel like 6 potatoes because like I said, I am making a double batch. So I hope I didn't peel too many. If I did, I'll put them in a bowl of water, put them in the fridge for tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Or just put these slices nice and tight together. You just want to put them all in a single layer in your, it says casserole dish. I'm using a 9 by 13 baking pan because I am making a double batch. And my casserole dish is a 1 quart. I have a 2 quart, but it probably won't be quite enough. There's 2, 4, 5 of us that'll eat this, maybe 6 if my son takes some home. So you just go ahead and layer those in slices. And give my meat a stir here. Back to the potatoes. So you can kind of multitask when you're doing this. While that's cooking up, you prepare your pan, get it lined with, I line mine with tin foil, just so it's a lot easier to clean up. You can get your potatoes ready, get your pan ready, open the soup if you like. You can get a lot of things done, and then you put this, after you're gonna get these layers done, and then you're gonna bake this in the oven for 30 to 30 minutes. Then take it out of the oven and cover it with grated cheese, and then back in the oven for another 4 or 5 minutes just until the cheese melts. So I did make 2 potatoes too many, but like I said, that's okay. I'll just put them in the fridge for tomorrow's supper. Add a couple more to it if we have mashed potatoes. Just gonna go ahead and layer these all in. And they're overlapping a little bit, and that's okay. You just want pretty much a single layer though. You don't want them piled on top of each other. Overlapping is a little bit is okay. So there's your potatoes. That's it. That's all it is. I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper these. Put some pepper. So back to the meat. And this is nice and lean ground beef, so there's not a lot of grease. It says to drain it afterwards. I'll just spoon it out, and it's not going to leave a lot of grease. It's because it is a lean cut. If you're using regular ground beef, you'll probably want to drain off, or be careful when you scoop it in so you leave the grease behind in the pan. That is just about done. Okay, so now our meat is all browned. Onions are nicely browned along with them, cooked in there. So that's what your meat layer looks like. We've got the potatoes. Let's turn you around again. I'm gonna get dizzy watching this video. Okay, so I've got my potatoes sliced in the pan with salt and pepper put on them. So we put the potatoes, the meat and the onions, and then the soup all over this. I mean, it's seriously a super easy dish and very, very budget friendly. 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of hamburger, 3 or 4 potatoes, an onion, 2 onions if they're small. And let me just put the beef on top of here, like this, covering all your potatoes. And if you get big chunks, just take the side of your spoon or get a fork, because you don't want big chunks of hamburger. And if that was the case, you just make a patty and put it on there. But you want it chopped up good. So let's see. And we're going to keep going until it's all on your potato level. One of those days. So this is what's going to be for our supper tonight. I hope everybody enjoys it and tries it for your supper. It's quick and easy. It's a really good one for a weeknight meal when you come home from work and you want to get something done. And so it's like 45 minutes altogether. So it took me about 10 minutes to prep, to cook the onion, chop and cook the onion with the roast beef, and slice the potato, peel and slice the potatoes, and then layer it. Easy, done. So now to that you want 2 cans, in my case 2 because I am doubling it. It calls for 1. In the description box below I'll put the recipe as written, but I am doubling it. And then you put your mushroom soup, you spread that undiluted. You don't want it you don't dilute it, you just put it so this way you'll get the nice creaminess. And I do have 2 cans because this is twice as much ingredients as a recipe calls for. When you have a bigger family, it's so easy to double recipe. Just, kind of sometimes you have to know fractions, and you have to know how to, if it's 1 pound, then it's 2 pounds. 1 can of soup, 2 cans of soup. It's not hard at all to figure it out. So there's 1 can of soup on there, and it did a little better than half, so that's good, because we want it to cover the whole entire pan of roast beef. I'm just being very, very careful to spread it so the hamburger underneath doesn't get mixed in. You don't want it mixed. You want these left in the layers. You don't want it to get on top of the soup. So now you bake this for 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes, just until the potatoes are done. Your meat is already done, and that's why the potatoes are on the bottom, because they're going to be the first thing that needs cooking. Your meat is done, and if it was a little pink here and there, it doesn't matter, because it will cook the rest away. Now 2 cans was exactly the right amount. You see how easy that spread. This is going to be I've never made this one before, so this is going to be a nice creamy dish. So there it is. That's all there is. That's for supper tonight. I'm going to bake this for 30 minutes, then take it out of the oven, sprinkle it with grated cheese, and then pop it back into the cheese melts another like 3 or 4 minutes. So I'll meet you back here in about 30 minutes. Alrighty, so it's been 30 minutes and I checked my potatoes. They're done. This is what our casserole looks like right now. Nice and creamy with that soup. So now the next step is to take grated cheese. This is brick cheese. Or cheddar. You can use any kind you like. We're just going to sprinkle it so it covers the whole top of the casserole. I grated some up. We'll see if I did it enough. Probably not. Maybe if I have, maybe a little bit more, for sure. Because you want the whole thing covered. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and right over top of my dish, I'm just going to go ahead and grate the rest of the cheese where it's not covered. Pretty easy. I mean, you can even do it all the way this way. You don't. I did it over a plate. You don't have to. You can just go right around and cover the whole thing. Pretty easy to do. And we're going to stick this back in the oven just for a couple of minutes, just until all the cheese melts. Now your oven's at 350, so it's not going to take long at all. There we go. So that goes back into the oven for a couple of minutes. And it's not in the oven too long, so on a nice, if it's a hot day like it is today, it doesn't, you know, heat up your whole entire kitchen and kind of make you feel like you don't want to do anything in this heat. It's not bad. It's nice. It's a hot day, but it's not humid, so it's good. It's not too bad to have the oven on. So we're going to leave that in the oven for about 2-3 minutes. And if you like this recipe and you try it, leave me a comment below. Hit the like button, please, and subscribe if you haven't. And hit the bell so you know when I'm in the kitchen cooking again. And if there's anything you'd like to see me cook, bake, any kind of sweet or savory dish, supper, breakfast, you know, lunch, desserts, whatever, just leave that in the comments below as well. And I'll be sure to look into getting the ingredients if I don't have them already, and making whatever you like. Yeah, so now it looks like the cheese is pretty well melted already. So I'm going to show you, and there you go. That is what for dinner tonight. Now if I take a little of this out and put it on the plate just to show you what it looks like all the way through. Close my oven, shut the oven off. Very often I forget to turn the oven off. There we go. Look at that. You just go right down to the bottom, and there is what's for dinner tonight. Beef casserole. You see the potatoes right there. I just left them on top so you could see them. It's like a layer there. Your potatoes are kind of like your crust, and then you have the middle is your hamburger, and then the top is your soup and your cheese. So there you go. Enjoy, and I hope you try it and let me know if you do. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye now.